If you're tinkering with the idea for your first children's book, you might think to yourself, what if I'm not good enough? Creative writing anxiety is a natural response to the creative writing process. Creative people are often highly sensitive as well, and where the thick-skinned humanoid will not even be in the same universe, the rest of us are gibbering wrecks about our work. Even the most successful writers often wonder if their next book is going to be good enough for others. So how can you get yourself under control? Here's a few ideas. Get yourself a confident mindset. To get yourself a confident mindset, there are two things you need to do. 1, set realistic goals, and 2, control self-rubbishing. Setting realistic goals means to have something in mind that you can achieve. It's good to stretch yourself a bit, but if you are already sending yourself messages that you cannot complete what you want, then maybe you need to break things into smaller chunks. A bit like running a marathon, just see yourself to the next checkpoint. First, get your idea down. List your character's traits. Write your plot into chunks. If you're writing a chapter book, you can use a plot writing tool like Scrivener, which will help you keep on top of what happens, to whom, and when. But if you're writing a picture book, you probably won't need this, and I'll explain why in a little bit. Secondly, are you trash talking yourself? Is that monkey mind telling you it's ridiculous to think that someone like you could be an author or an illustrator? I mean, have you got a degree in creative writing? Or been to art college? No? Well, neither did Roald Dahl, and he did alright. Instead of saying, I am not an expert, remember, no one is an expert to start with. Tell yourself, I can become an expert. Or if monkey mind is saying, I'll never get this right, remind yourself, I can make it perfect in the editing process. That is what editing is for. Thirdly, speaking your truth is one of those things that gets bandied around quite a lot these days. But in this case, it's literally true. If you have an idea that feels really important and won't leave you alone, then it's likely your intuition is speaking, and in my experience, intuition is never wrong. So take heart, have faith, and have some confidence in your own inspiration. Strike while the iron's hot. Get your idea down when it strikes you. It doesn't have to be perfect. In fact, it won't be perfect. That's why it's called a creative process. If you get an idea buzzing around you like a friendly bumblebee, don't wait until later to jot down some notes, because the idea might have left. Stop what you're doing, find a bit of paper, or speak into your voice notes and grasp it while the inspiration has struck. What is making you doubt yourself? Ask yourself, what is it that's making you feel doubtful? Any creative task can sometimes feel uncomfortable, even painful, especially if you are expecting negative emotions. If you put upon yourself too much pressure, you will procrastinate. Take the pressure off by just saying you're just doing this for yourself. No one else needs to see it. Don't care what anyone else thinks about it, because today it's just for you. You can decide what format this thing is going to take further down the line, and not today. This first draft is called the poop draft. Actually, that's the clean version. If you Google it, you'll see they use another word instead of poop. The poop draft is where you get your ideas down, quickly and without stopping to find the perfect word or sentence. Its role is to give you a first foundation to build on, and no one else needs to see it or even know you've done one. The thing is, once you've done the poop draft, the idea is ignited. You can see whether it's potentially a thing of brilliance or whether it really ought to be put out of its misery. So ask yourself, what negative things keep crossing your mind? Do you feel like you're not an expert, or you lack the skills, or you just don't have the time, or you're hyper aware of what other people think of you? Although they seem like massive boulders in your path, they are all things that can be addressed. No one is an expert to begin with. You can gain skills and make the time. And if you feel you have self-esteem problems, then why not turn to the sponsor of this video? No, I'm only joking. There is no sponsor. It's just me and you. But in all seriousness, creative people are quite often aware of what other people think, or at least project that thing that other people are going to think badly of you. So if that's going to stop you from doing what you need to do, then maybe you ought to try and sort it out. First stop, go to the library and see if you can find a book. Education. Writing comes with a partner, reading. By reading the sort of books you are writing, you will be paying attention to the craft and understanding of what makes good stories. It's the old-fashioned style of learning, being an apprentice almost. Reading and writing a lot, in all forms, is a different and, in my opinion, better way to hone your skills, rather than relying on other people's teachings alone. By writing daily, you will discover your strengths and your style. You'll get a body of work under your belt, and you will become more familiar with the discipline and the joy of writing. But don't forget the reading. If you're writing books for children, make sure you read them too. Format is really important, and that's more of a technical thing. For children's books, there is a suggested upper word count, depending on the age that you're writing for. For picture books, the standard is 32 pages, and I go into more details of that in this video up in the cards there. That's why you probably won't need a plot writing tool. But you might ask, why? Why can't I have the freedom to write a really long book for 3-year-olds? Well, the simple answer to that is, well, you can write whatever you want. But through trial and error and standing on the shoulders of many authors and publishers before us, the format, 32 pages, works best for that age group. There are rule breakers though. Oliver Jeffers, I'm looking at you. Finally, use that old adage, fake it till you make it. After I left university with a Bachelor of Arts degree in illustration, people said, what did I want to do? I said, I want to be an illustrator. But that is unhelpful energy. By wanting it, it means I am not currently doing it. Even by saying I was going to be an illustrator, I was still saying that's not my current reality. So after reading a very wise book, I started telling people I am an illustrator. And lo and behold, within the next couple of weeks, I got my first published illustration job. Woohoo! Tell people you're a writer, not you want to be a writer. Confidence is not built in an instant, thank goodness, because if you've arrived with this feeling of super confidence, you won't learn. It will be unhelpful arrogance. Be excited about writing and telling people. What do I say when people ask me what I do? I say I write and illustrate children's books. Do you know what they say? Wow, that is really cool. Give yourself permission to get out there and write your thing. Write your poop draft and enjoy the process. Next week, I will be doing some prep work for the front cover of my next book, and I might let you have a little sneaky peek. Until then, I'm off to sell seashells on the seashore. I will see you next week. No.